Hey friends. Changing careers at 55 wasn't my plan. I thought by now I'd be slowing down, maybe even retiring. Instead, I'm kind of starting all over again. But 2 weeks in, I really think I'm going to love this new job. Right now is a really interesting season for me. Every morning I wake up with just a tiny bit of anxiety, but it's not the bad kind. It's the kind that you have when you're learning something new and when you want to do a good job at it. It's the kind of stress that reminds me that I'm growing. So, all day my brain is just working overtime, trying to keep up, trying to soak everything in. And that's new for me because I've always been like the Energizer Bunny. I spent decades working 12-hour shifts and I was kind of a warrior. I mean, one time I drove home from Phoenix with two kids, a big dog, in 48 hours in a Honda Civic. I used to be hardcore like that, but now, by the time I get home at night, I'm just ready to shut down. I can really tell that with age, starting something new is taking a lot out of me. And instead of fighting it like I used to and pushing through, I'm actually leaning into rest. I'm letting my body recover so that I can show up the next day fresh and ready to do it again. And honestly, that feels healthier than anything I've ever done in my past. It's only been 2 weeks, but I already can feel myself falling into a little routine. My days don't look all the same because I teach evening classes. So some days I'm home by dinner, and other nights I don't get home till 10 or 10:30 at night. Last night was the first of those late nights, and by the end of my day, my eyes were so tired and I had to drive home in the dark. Maybe it's the screens, but honestly I think it might be the fluorescent lights. So today I'm going to pack up a little lamp, a little table lamp that I have at home, and I'm going to take it to my office. I'm going to start I got a little refrigerator, actually my van refrigerator. I'm going to take it and I'm going to start decorating my office. This is actually really cool for me because even with my corporate job, I was working remotely and 100% remote, so I was always at home. But this is the first job I've had that I had to drive to another place, and I had my very own locking office. I have shared offices before, but hey, hold on a second. How are you? Just, oh, she said, yes, I have my very own office now with a locking door. I have shared offices in the past, and when I worked that corporate job that I left last year, I was fully remote, so I was always at home, but I've never had a space outside of home that was all my own with a locking door, and it kind of feels like a little gift. I've started thinking about how I'm going to decorate it, and I'm on the hunt for a rug that will actually work in there under a rolling chair on hard floors. Anyway, and then there's my life outside of work. My youngest son just moved out a couple of weeks ago. He's only 2 blocks away, and we didn't see each other much during the week anyway because of his 9 to 5 job. But the house just feels different without him, and I miss him. And my poor dog hasn't had a proper walk since the second day of work because by the time I'm home, I'm really tired, and I realize that I've got to get back into the groove and stay active. And when the first weekend after work rolled around last weekend, the weather was just so hot and humid and buggy that I didn't really want to leave the house. I'm really ready for fall. I know that I'll find another little rhythm where I can keep my walks and keep my activity level up. But right now, everything just feels like it's in a big transition. And maybe that's the point. At 55, I thought I'd be coasting into retirement, or at least coasting through the last few years of a career. But instead, I'm stretching myself again. I'm learning new things. I'm building new routines and adjusting to change and bringing a whole new work circle of people into my life. It is stretching me, but it's in ways that feel exciting. It's just different. And I think that's a good thing because if there's one thing that I've learned in my 50s, it's that reinvention doesn't stop just because of age. In fact, maybe this is exactly what keeps us alive and engaged. So here I am yet again in my 50s, reinventing myself, which I've done several times before. And maybe that's the healthiest thing for me. If you ever had to start over again later in life, whether it was a new job, a new chapter of any kind, leaving a marriage, or taking on a new relationship, a whole new career, or just moving to a different area, I'd love to hear down in the comments how you dealt with it. Go ahead and share your story, because I know I'm not the only one making big changes in midlife. And of course, in addition to the new career, the new job, I still have 4 rental properties that I self-manage. One of them is now an Airbnb. I have my first guest checking in tomorrow, and Airbnb is a lot of work. I've done it before. My regular viewers, I showed you a couple videos ago how I was furnishing that unit for an Airbnb, and I'm gonna, at the end of this video, I'm gonna put a little video tour of the finished product there in case you're interested. I'm also still volunteering with a couple of community organizations, so I'm still really busy. But the whole point of this video was I wanted to share with you how the career change was going for me, because this is the first time since my early 40s that I've made a big career change. And now I am almost 56 years old, and this is something really new for me. It's been a little bit of a challenge, more so than it was changing jobs when I was younger. You know what, though? On that note, I wanted to tell you I have several nursing students in the night program that I teach that are, later in life and changing careers. So there's people doing it all over the place. Thank you for being here, friends, and I'll see you in the next video.